startup founder, and so mandatorily based in Shoreditch. And the bit of tech that we're working in is publishing, so hence the culture bit, mobile publishing in particular, working with a bunch of different publishers on helping them digitize content in various ways. You've probably all seen this iconic picture. In fact, I'm sorry to anyone else who used this slide later on. It's a privilege of being first. This is the Pope's inauguration recently with not only loads and loads of devices, but loads of devices of different sizes as well. They're not all the same kind of, the same size screen. So this is the kind of problem that we're sort of facing with publishing. You know, how do we get our content to work on all these different devices? This is total film. I could have chosen loads of things on a smartphone. You would actually need a superpower. You'd need to be Electro or somebody to be able to read this stuff. So you get into this awkward, you know, pinching, zooming, panning, scanning, whatever. It's not that kind of lovely experience that we like to get from mobile content. And this is a big problem. This is the US publishing industry, but if you look at, so fiction is sort of a solved problem with the ebook, mostly solved, you know, but that's about 5 billion of a 30 billion market. There's an awful lot of other types of content, illustrated books, reference, travel, cookery, magazines, contract publishing, blah, blah, blah. Lots of things that really there's no good solution for it. Well, there's sort of a technical solution. I'm not going to go kind of technical here, but there's a sort of technical solution for this magical stuff, HTML5, that if you can only turn your content into HTML5, you can deliver it everywhere across every type of platform, and it's got lots of lovely little features. Google Glass will go there when I update this slide next, actually. But, you know, so how do you make that? Well, you could build it by hand every time, and actually that's how most HTML5 stuff is made. But I mean, imagine if you had to, you know, build a printing press every time you wanted to print a new book, you know, create a new one and then before crank out some books on that. You know, that's sort of where we've been to a large extent with digital publishing, and we need to move on from that. Another approach is to kind of, similar to that, is, you know, you could use the existing tools like Adobe InDesign and just, you know, make a copy for each screen size and orientation and so on. And, you know, you'd think that would be crazy and nobody would do that. That's actually the market-leading solution for lots of types of content, like magazines. That's how it's mostly done. They use an Adobe plugin. You could template it all like we did on the web and get kind of great content experiences like this. I shouldn't mock. This is from The Week, which is actually a really good iPad app, but it is templated. I don't think you can read it. It's into obscurity. I think that's great. That's from the current issue, you know. So that's not giving the sort of great experience that we're expecting from mobile devices. And there's a kind of problem with templating in general. I mean, I think designers and developers think about templating in a very different way. Developers, think of it, you do your design up front, then you squirt your content through it and you spray out lovely finished stuff at the end, right? But then sometimes the stuff doesn't fit and the results aren't so good. That's not how designers think about it. Designers think of it as something you start with a template and then you design around the content and you get a better result. So I think that kind of, the designer templating is the bit that we sort of need to think about more when we're dealing with digital content. I have another point, but I don't have time to make it. I think this slide jumps to the next one. So, hence our product, Padify. This is the problem. You know, it's about creating a workflow for creating content, responsive content that we can use across different devices, and that fits with your existing, you know, staff and assets and systems and all this kind of thing. That's practical and scalable. This is our office. No, so we think of it as it's about remixing. It's about taking what you've already got and remixing it. Also, I apologise if everyone's now got Get Lucky as an earworm. You know, sorry, that can't be helped. So yeah, remixing the stuff that you've already got into this responsive material, rather than having to start from scratch and you know, do it all again. Mandatory screenshot of the product. So there's a bit of stuff built in about doing responsive layout and so on. I'm not going to do a product pitch thing. Oh, I could. Could I fit it in? No, probably not. Okay, sometimes 20 seconds is a long time, isn't it? We'll get there. Just hang on in.
It's free.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, one of the cool things we put in was Dropbox. Actually, I was going to use that cube in Mecca with the Dropbox thing photoshopped in. I thought that'd be culturally insensitive, so I haven't done that. But you know, people like Dropbox. We use Dropbox to sync in all your kind of existing stuff without you having to do tedious copy and paste and rekeying and all that kind of thing. And that's a very cool feature that people like a lot. Big time-saving thing. So Notion magazine, fashion, music magazine based in Shoreditch. Probably never heard of it. Lovely little mag. It's on our first customer. It's on a newsstand at the moment. It's run on a shoestring, but they get, I think, really nice content out of it. It does quite well in Japan, apparently. You can always export London Cool, it turns out. There you go, it's a thing. What I really like in the latest issue, they've got this kind of SoundCloud integration that they built by themselves. Didn't tell us about it until we saw it there. I thought it was really nice. It's important for us that our publishers can differentiate their products and make and do special things in their content without having to get us to do it for them. So I think that was a kind of cool thing to see. Our second big customer was Dennis Publishing, and they use Padify to do kind of high-end features in some of their titles, in men's fitness, for instance, and they're going to roll it out across all the rest of their dozen or so titles. They like what we do so much that they've invested in the business, which is kind of quite nice. It's nice to have a kind of madly wealthy, eccentric poet putting money into your tech startup. I think we're the only people in Shoreditch who got that. We're not only doing magazines. This Amber Publishing, a reference publisher who've got this old, 10-year-old, huge dinosaur encyclopedia they did, and we're kind of batching it up into a digital part work where they release a new little herd of dinosaurs into the wild every month for subscribers. I think it's going to be really successful when it comes out. And one of the other nice things about doing the HTML5 bit is you can kind of quite cheaply add bits of interactivity without having to get really expensive developers and so on. So both the steampunk thing and this Learn French app, both have got nice little bits of drag and drop functionality in them, little games and things. So there's a kind of dressing up thing here where you can get your own face and a monocle and what have you. And finally, we're going to do some new projects as well. So Popbitch, kind of scurrilous newsletter blog thing, very successful Kickstarter campaign recently to do a digital magazine, and we're going to do that with them. So that's doing a new product from scratch. I think there's huge opportunity for people to create new products in newsstand and kind of be very successful with them. Okay, so that's it.